Hello everyone, in this video I am going to talk about that ServiceNow scripting based practices. So if you are trying to be a good developer, or if you are starting your career as an application developer, you should know that what is the best practice for the scripting. So let's talk about the scripting based practice in a high level. So first thing first, whenever you are writing a code, if you see that first you should use comments in your code. So whenever you are typing your code like var gr equal to new glide record, you should mention that for which purpose you are doing that. So comments is an important factor, so that in a future developer who is coming there, they should know that for which purpose you declare this block. Secondly, use white space. You should not use that code in a junk format. You should use the you should keep your code in a format, in a quick good format, and you should use some spaces. You should use some white spaces if needed. Then you should use the simple statement. If you see that this is the JavaScript shorthand method, like var result equal to this one. This is a shorthand if method. What it is saying that the result is a variable, that value will be decided based on this condition. If x equal to y, then result will be a, else result will be b. So this is a shorthand method. Instead of this shorthand method, you should use the if block, and so that everyone can understand that if and else block, so that everyone can understand. So whenever you are writing a code, use the simple statement if possible. And then here you should use a constructed reusable function. You should create very small functions, so that that function can be used over the period multiple time. Okay, so this is also important. And also, last not the least, that I have not mentioned here, whenever you are declaring a variable like var gr, instead of var gr, use that gr change, so that everyone understand that what you are trying to do. That if record found, is record found, is record not found, something like that, meaningful variable name, so that everyone understand that what you are trying to do with this variable. So that if the code is 100 line of code, the sometimes in the meat of the code, everyone understand that this variable, if you declare a variable a, this is very general and misconfusing variable, right? Instead of that, if you use that is record found, that will understand then yes, this record, it is checking the record is found or not. So your variable should be very meaningful, very clear, instead of just declaring a simple variable called a, b, c, something like that. So this is an overall best practice for a scripting. Next, I'll talk about that client script based practices. There are some client script based practices also there, so I'll talk about that also. So first, in the client script, or whenever you are writing the client side scripting, try to avoid that scripting part. If it is possible, use the UI policy. If you can achieve that scenario, like if you want to make mandatory, if you want to make read only, you can simply go and then use the UI policy, just using the condition. Instead of that, you don't need to use that client script, complex client script, unless it is a very complex scenario. So whenever is possible, use the UI policy instead of client script. Then in the client script, you should not use the glide record. Let's say that you want to fetch some manager name, so you should not directly start using the glide record into the client script. Although it is not best practices, but you never should use that glide record in your client script. Instead of that, you can use the glide ajax. Using the glide ajax, you can call that glide ajax. We'll talk about that, what is the glide ajax, in our future upcoming classes. But you should not never use that glide record inside the client script, because client side or client script is used for the validation of the client side, not the server side. So you should use the normal gform, get read only, set read only method. Next thing is that avoid get reference. There is a method called get references that is not a best practice to use in the client side into your system. So never use the glide reference. Instead of that, again you can use the glide ajax. Then you can use that avoid DOM manipulation. In the client script, you will be able to see that there are a lot of JavaScript code written to do the DOM manipulation. Sometime what happens after upgrade, this DOM manipulation not works. So try to avoid this DOM manipulation if possible. There could be some properties that can handle that. There could be other settings that can handle that instead of DOM manipulation. We can go to the root from where these things are showing, and then there we can try to remove that. And then last not the least, do not run any script, any client script or any kind of script on the global table. So in the table where you can select the incident problem change, there is a table called global. Do not run any client script on the global table. What will be happen if you write a client script on the global table, each and every time for any of these table that client script will be run, and then it will create some performance issue. So these are the best practices you should keep in mind when you are building or doing any kind of development.